In the last video, I told you about how the chargeback happened, like where the story began for the chargeback, and then I ended with the phone call where the customer said, "Arpita, what have you done?" So I would like to continue now from there, from that phone call, to let you know what exactly happened. Hi guys, welcome back to your channel Dreamport Journey with Arpita, and I am sure that you guys are also invested and want to know what happened on that phone call, because that's how I ended the last video of Arpita, what have you done? Now, just to give a gist, y'all know that in the last video we spoke about how comfortness of me being comfortable or letting my guard down costed me, like the story began of the chargeback of 7,200 Canadian dollar. So now what had happened was, like I mentioned, that there was a family traveling. So in that family, the customer and his friend, his brother, they both were traveling before. They were traveling in January itself. So they had already taken the flight, and they had already, they were already in Africa. In June, the wife and those 3 daughters, all the children, including the infant, were supposed to travel. I still remember that day very clearly, as if it happened yesterday, because that came out of the blue. It was 3 p.m. in Indian Standard Time, and I still remember because my shift had not started then. My shift was supposed to start at 11 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And usually at Dreamport you have that option after you spend a few months here. You can always divert the phone call on your direct number. In case if you're not logged into the system, the phone, if somebody's calling you, it will come to your phone. So it was 3 p.m. and my phone flashed the international, like it flashed ASAP, like it's calling. And I understood it has to be some customer. So first I thought, let me just not pick up right now, because even if the customer is calling for some ticket or something, I would not be able to help him right now, because I will anyway log into the shift at 11. But something within me told me that at least just pick up and see what the customer is actually looking at, because I also had that greed that maybe what if it's a return customer, or what if it's a customer that needs a ticket. So thinking that in mind, I answered the call. And the minute I answered the call, I heard a strange statement and with a loud noise, "Arpita, what have you done?" And I froze, because it was a known voice to me. Remember, I have been speaking to that customer for almost a month. After that, we did a booking and we were talking every day. So, I remember that voice, and I was like, hello, what happened? And he said, "I don't know, what have you done?" I said, as in? He said, "My wife is at the airport and she's been denied boarding. I don't know what to do, because I'm sitting here in Africa. It's already night time here, and I don't know, what have you done? Please call my wife, because she's panicking. She's crying at the airport. My daughters are there. They are all crying. So please get this sorted." I was in that confusion. Like, why? Why was she denied boarding? Because remember, the husband and his brother had already gone. They have already reached Africa, which means everything was perfect, right? And then I just asked him, "But what is wrong?" He said, "I don't know. They are denying the boarding. They have given the boarding passes to my daughters, but they are all minor. But they are not giving the boarding pass to my wife. So please call her, because she's panicking, and I want you to comfort her, because I don't even really know what has gone wrong there." And then I was like, okay, fine. Let me just call her. I, of course, had the number. I quickly, logged into the system, and then I called the wife. And the minute I told her, "Hello, Arpita here," and she said, "Arpita, please help me, please help me." That was a panic call. And I said, "Yes, that is the reason I am calling you, because I just got a call from your husband. And that's the reason I'm calling you. Can you tell me what has happened?" She said, "I don't know. The airline is denying me the boarding, and they're saying that my name is incorrect." I said, "It is not possible. The name can't be incorrect, because even though the husband had left in January, remember I told in the last video, he had called me multiple times for his friends, for his students and everybody. And I was anyway constantly speaking to his wife every now and then, because he did not he did not buy the insurance on the booking form. He wanted to buy the travel insurance later. So, because the ticket itself was costing almost 12,000 Canadian dollars. So he was like, "Arpita, let me just, purchase the insurance at a later date." So in, I think around April, he had called me back, and then he purchased the travel insurance for everybody, for the daughters and for wife and everybody. And so that is the reason, we were going back and forth anyway with the booking. We were going back and forth with the tickets. We were going back and forth with the insurance as well. So we knew that, there was no mistake. And remember, in the last video, I also mentioned that not that I made any error in the name, because I did not type the name by myself. customer, like, because he was a professor, and he knew that all these traveling thing, it comes with a lot of responsibilities and lot of errors as well. So, and he had already paid for his mistake in the past when he was doing the booking on his own. He had mistyped the name, and then that had costed him another new ticket. And from that day, I think he understood that he needs a travel agent, and that is the reason even when he was finding cheaper flights, he was not ready to book on his own. So I was dead sure that there cannot be any mistake in the name, because we have done that multiple times. So I told her, no, but the name can't be wrong, because the minute the booking was done, I had sent you guys the tickets, and I remember you all were on the phone, you all opened the ticket, you all checked everything, you all checked your names, you all checked the flights, everything again. And after that, when we did the insurance again, she said, yes, Arpita, that's what I'm trying to tell you, that I see my name as correct as it should be on the passport. I don't see any problem. My spellings are correct, my name is correct, everything is correct. But I still don't know why airline is not giving me the boarding pass. And then I was like, what do I do? Because like I said, it was 3 p.m. in Indian Standard Time. My shift was supposed to start at 11 p.m. I did not know whom to connect with. I did not know where should I go, because my advisors weren't around. They would only come back when the shift was, supposed to start. I was panicking more than the customer. I was panicking because at that point in time, I wanted to help them, because understand, she is traveling with 3 daughters, one being infant, 6-month-old infant, and the entire situation was so tense that I just didn't know. So what I did, because I by then it was like almost 7 to 8 months in the system in Dreamport. I just and I knew that the nesting team begins a little early, so I contacted my nesting my nesting advisor, Lupin, and I told him, I really need your help, because I don't know what's happening here, and what do I do, because this is the first time I was facing this situation. And like, who will think that once the booking is made, because usually any salesperson, they always feel that the minute the booking is done, the customer has made the payment, your job is done, your job is over. But that's not the case, because the sale does not get over until the customer returns back to his hometown. And this is something that people need to understand, that your responsibility do not end the minute you sell the tickets. In fact, if you ask me today, I would say your responsibility begins the minute you start, you have sold the tickets, because after that, the customer is going to be glued to you till the time he doesn't return to his hometown, because he knows that you are his travel agent. So anything, if it goes wrong, he is the first one to call you. He will not call customer service, will not call anybody. He will call you. And not about customers. That's the exact thing we also do, right? If we purchase something from the market, we always go back to that salesperson. Like, we will first pick up the phone and we'll try dialing that number who sold us the product. And that's exactly everybody. That's a human tendency, right? So if people ask me today that once the ticket is sold, our responsibility is over, I would say a big no, because that's the day your responsibility begins for the customer's entire trip. Now, because I asked, Lupin, I was like, Lupin, if you can help me. And, of course, he also did take some time. And then he messaged, he said, what you need to do is, he gave me an email. He said, write an email here to this so-and-so department, and let's see what can be done here. Because until then, when I asked my advisor, he told me, can you share the names? And the way the customer had written the name, I had shared that entire email to, my advisor also. He checked and he saw the ticket. He said, it looks perfect. Until now, no one knows where we went wrong, how we went wrong, and why we went wrong. So, the entire thing was going back and forth. And then now the, race against time had started. Because now, when the race against time has started, you just don't know what to do, because you see there is a family stranded at the airport. There are 3 daughters, all children, they are crying. There is a flight which is supposed to depart in 2 hours time. Luckily, the family, they had reached 6 hours earlier in the airport, because they wanted a bassinet seat. That's also I told in the last video, which is why the video, I had to give you the entire background information so that you all can connect. So it was 2 hours for the flight to depart. And then when the entire thing happened, the customer was waiting, husband is waiting, wife is waiting, everybody's waiting. From that 3 p.m. till the 11 p.m., till the time my actual shift started, we would have had almost around, I think 35 to 40 phone calls exchanged already. The customer is panicking. He's calling from Africa because he's already gone there. He's waiting for the family to reunite. His brother is also calling because, now everybody is in jeopardy that what has gone wrong? Why? That why is something which I did not have an answer. And all I could do was, It was not that because until then I knew that it is going to be a chargeback or I made an error. There was no error. See, the thing is, I would have disappeared if only I knew my mistake. That's what a general tendency is. But here the situation was, I did not even know there was a mistake, because until the customer service got involved, we did not know that who had made the mistake. And then eventually, the email which was given to me, I sent them an email and I asked what can be done here. And what happened was, then I called up the airline myself. I tried to understand what exactly went wrong, why the boarding pass is denied to her. Then I also called our customer service to understand what is it that we can do. And the minute I spoke to the airline, that's where I understood that if only these things would have been seen 2 days earlier, things would have been rectified. But right now, because the departure time is just 2 hours away, there is nothing which can be done. Now, what does that mean? That means the family cannot take the flight. If the family doesn't take the flight, the husband who's sitting in Africa, he is already on a boiling pot, because he is waiting for his family, anxiously. He wants everybody to safely travel to India. That is the reason, travel to Africa. That is the reason he invested, he bought the travel insurance also, because he wanted the safety of the family. And now the family in question is stranded at the airport. They don't even know, should they go back to home? Should they be stranded at the airport? Should they sit at the airport and wait for us to give them a reply? In this, the wife was calling me separately, husband was calling separately. It was such a tense situation that even today when I'm speaking, I am actually overwhelmed, because I am actually going through those moments right now as well. Because I don't even, like I said, I was so new and this is happening for the first time. Like, who would even imagine that, for a customer whom I had sold like 6 tickets, and then I had also sold 2 to 3 tickets for his friends, family, and this is what it is. But then eventually, when I spoke to our customer service to figure out, what can we do here. So I also tried calling a couple of other people as well, my senior advisor also. And then my senior advisor came online and he said, Arpita, what happened? And I explained that, this is what has gone wrong. And this is the thing, the passenger is denied boarding. And then he said, wait, let me check. Now the waiting period started. Now the wife is waiting. Customer service is already investigating, airline is already contacted, more calls happened, more questions happened, more emails happened, hours passed. She was supposed to leave at 6 p.m. from Canada. It was 10 p.m. already, and she's still sitting in the airport with those 3 daughters, all minors, yes. And nobody knew exactly what. And honestly, that was one of the hardest part, because like I said, if you know the problem, you can solve it. But when you don't even know the problem, how are you going to solve it, And eventually, after I think 6 to 7 hours of back and forth with airline customer service here or there, eventually airline identified the issue and they told us that this is the problem and this is the reason why the boarding is denied and the customer will not be given the boarding. And that's where the investigation began. And over the next few days, we finally discovered, like I said, what had happened, what the mistake was, who made it, and why the mistake, eventually costed me 7,200 Canadian dollars. And that story deserves its own video, because what happened, next, that taught me more about accountability, ownership, and responsibility than any sales training could ever give you. And that's exactly what we will talk about next in the next video, where you understand what was the investigation, how I made that mistake, and what led to that mistake. In these 2 episodes, you'll have understood the entire scenario of how the mistake started, where the mental fatigue came into picture, how the mistake happened, and now let's see what's the mistake in the next part of the video. Until then, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching my video. We'll meet again in the next one.